Before we get started, I want to introduce you to Noel. Noel is one of my oldest and dearest friends. 10 years ago, right after he learned he was to become a father, Noel was diagnosed with stage 4 blood cancer. Remarkably, he beat it. But the treatment took a savage toll on his body, and now, rather incredibly, Noel needs a heart transplant. In 2020, the average price of a heart transplant in the US before insurance was $1.6 million. Noel is responsible for 10% of his medical expenses, an odious reality of the American healthcare system. So do me a favor. Click the GoFundMe link below. Donate what you can. Help me help my friend. Thanks, guys. There are a few places in Europe that offer the stark but necessary contrast between the bucolic fantasy of storybook Europe and the harsh reality of a modern port city, quite like Naples does. Of course, you can find the idyllic piazzas and the fabled monuments, the Vespas, the pizza, the romance, and they are glorious, all of them. But this is a working city, a port city, a tough city. A city that believes in its workers, its tribes, and its heroes. If you arrive here expecting only one side of the coin, you won't do yourself or this city justice. For it's that contrast, that friction, that makes Naples the most interesting city in Italy. I recently had a chance to partner with MyHeritage to try their MyHeritage DNA kit, and stick around because I'm going to reveal my results live in this video. With a super simple test kit, all you need to do is provide a cheek swab. There's no finger pricks or blood or anything like that necessary. And while you wait for your results, you can try the suite of incredible MyHeritage photo tools, like their animation tool, which brings old photos to life. Truly astounding. But dear viewer, my wait is over because I just got my results email and I am very excited to see what they reveal. Let's take a look for the first time together. Okay, here we go. Click the old button. I am ready to explore my ethnicity. Let's see here. I am. Ooh. 81.9% English. That's not entirely surprising, but I actually thought it would be more than that. What next? 11.9% North and West European. What? Nearly 4% Italian. Okay, that is a curveball. And Finnish. Wow, that is crazy. And I know that I can go in here and explore these results a little bit more, but I can also look at DNA matches, people who are, it even predicts my relationship with them. And I'm blurring these out because, these people are actual real people. But look, parents, first cousin, the amount of DNA we share, and it's really comprehensive. There's a lot of people in here. There's so much detail here. It's really comprehensive, really, really fascinating. Wow. MyHeritage is running a promo right now. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code to get 30 days of the MyHeritage DNA service for free. And if you use the promo code Attaché, you'll get free shipping on your MyHeritage DNA kit. Naples is served by the creatively named Naples International Airport, a tidy little aerodrome about 5 kilometers north of the city. Unfortunately, the metro doesn't quite reach the airport yet, but they are working on it, and the project is due to be completed later in 2024. But until then, your options are bus or taxi. The alley bus will take you from the airport to the central station for just €5 in around 15 minutes. You can buy your ticket online before your arrival from one of the vending machines located on the ground floor of the arrivals area or on board the bus itself. You must validate your ticket in the electronic ticket machine on the bus, but the bonus is your ticket is good for 90 minutes from validation on all city public transportation, metro, bus, and cable railway.
If you do opt for a taxi, know this. It is a fixed fare, 18 euros from the airport to anywhere in the city center. And that 18 euros includes all extras, luggage, pets, daytime, nighttime, everything. So don't let your driver try and add any optional extras to your fare at the end of your journey. Also, local law mandates that every taxi have a working credit card terminal in it. Check before you get in the cab, and if the terminal isn't working, pick another cab. Seeing as we're in Europe, you could very well be arriving in Naples on a train. There are two main stations in Naples, Napoli Centrale and the newly opened high-speed hub of Napoli Afragala. The latter is located about 12 kilometers outside of the city, and Centrale, as the name suggests, is in the city center. So do check where your train is arriving or departing from. But don't fret, if you arrive in Napoli Afragala, local trains pass through and you can easily jump on one of them to the city center. But as I just learned, don't depend on a taxi because they are few and far between out there. Once you're in Naples proper, getting around is possible. I'm hesitant to suggest it is easy for a few reasons. The first being Naples' infamous traffic. Charming but narrow streets coupled with almost relentless excavation projects with the sheer volume of traffic means that large parts of the city's road network are often choked throughout the day. There are alternatives, of course. You just need to wrap your head around their idiosyncrasies. The metro spans much of the city, but it does come with some complications. Different lines are owned and operated by different companies, and until recently, interchange and fares between the different lines was unnecessarily complicated. If you've been to Tokyo in the past, you'll know what I'm talking about. But the recent introduction of a unified fare system called Unico Compagnie seems to have ironed out a lot of these complexities.
Within the city limits, an integrated ticket is available for use on any kind of transport served by any company. A 1-hour ticket is available for €1.80 and a daily ticket for €5.40. You must have a ticket before boarding a bus or metro as they are not sold on board. Failure to produce a valid ticket on request can result in a big fine.
The metro itself consists of 3 different lines, run by 3 different companies using 3 different kinds of rolling stock, with an additional 4th line currently lying dormant. The lines are called, rather confusingly, Line 1, Line 2, Line 11, and the dormant Line 6. But don't let this intimidate you. It actually all works out pretty well in the end. Just make sure you've got that ticket ready for inspection. Funiculars are also a big part of the Neapolitan transport system. 4 funicular lines carry 60,000 people a day to the hillier corners of the city. Not only do they save you some serious climbing, but they are relics in and of themselves, with the youngest line dating back to 1930. So not only are they a lot of fun, but they are a great way of getting around, and your daily transport ticket works on the funiculars. I think you know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. The best way to get around this city, for the most part, is on foot. Yeah, there are some hills, but they're not going to kill you, not a guarantee. And Naples is one of those cities where it seems there's something interesting or engaging or frankly delicious around every single corner. So don't be afraid to wander and see what this storage city reveals to you. If you are expecting some dreamy cinematic exposition on the glories of Neapolitan pizza, I'm going to disappoint you. Let me tell you why. You are going to come to Naples and you're going to eat pizza, and it will be glorious, if it's not optional. I have come to Naples and I am eating pizza, and it's glorious, because that's not optional. And I guarantee you that whichever pizzeria you pick won't be the right one, but nor will it be the wrong one. Don't let any other influencer or blogger or journalist or tour guide tell you otherwise. Here's the thing. Neapolitan pizza is so strictly defined, and that definition so fiercely protected, that the chances of you having a bad pizza in Naples are basically 0. So come to Naples and eat the glorious pizza. But I beg you, I implore you, please don't let that be the only thing that you eat in Naples. There are so many other dishes that are almost as iconic as the wonderful pizza that's in front of me, but they all deserve your time and attention. A great way to start your Naples day, or frankly at any point in your Naples day, are these sfogliatelle, which literally mean little leaves in the plural form. They're made by rolling out the dough into kind of a long form and then separating the ends so the little layers separate as it bakes, creating the little leaves. They are filled with glorious cream, or ricotta-based cream, and then sprinkled with powdered sugar. These have just come out of the oven. They're still warm to the point of being quite painful. And they are available everywhere, but this is probably one of the, if not the most famous places to acquire them. And they are absolutely glorious. A little bit of citrus in the cream, a little bit of saltiness from the cheese. Just so good, so satisfying, absolutely delicious. I am very excited to introduce you to this crustiello. It is the definition of Neapolitan comfort food. It is ostensibly a sandwich, but in the loosest sense of the words. It's made from the end of the crusty loaf pane caffone, and it's then stuffed with homemade ragu. I mean, do I need to entice you anymore? Its origins come from this tradition of having a really kind of robust, big snack made from the ingredient or the leftovers of Sunday lunch. So there's a lot of tradition here, but also, I mean, look at it. I don't care what its traditions are. I just want to eat it. Yeah, meatballs. It's like you've made your spag bowl, got leftover ragu. Although bolognese sauce and ragu are very different things, let's be very clear about that. But then you've got crusty bread, dug a hole in it, and then stuffed it with the leftover sauce. And what is not to love about that? That's a beautiful baby. When one thinks of pizza in Naples, you of course think of the traditional world-famous wood-fired pizza, but pizza fritta, or fried pizza, isn't nearly as decadent and un-Italian as it might sound, and its humble origins make the story even more compelling. In the aftermath of World War II, the city was rife with poverty and destruction. The traditional pizza was an inaccessible luxury. Most of the ingredients were completely unavailable, and perhaps more importantly, many of the city's wood-fired ovens had been destroyed in the fighting. So pizza makers came up with the fried pizza, which is much more accessible, the ingredients were available, and it's simply a cheaper version of the traditional dough filled with cheaper and available ingredients. So ricotta cheese, a byproduct of mozzarella production, pork crackling, a byproduct of lard production, and the deep frying causes the dough to fluff up. So what you're left with is a satisfying, satiating, cheap, still only €5 dish, which has become part of the heart and soul of this city's culinary identity. And that's how the Hot Pocket was born. Culpo is a gloriously idiosyncratic Neapolitan treat. It's basically a bucket of fried goodness. And ostensibly comes in two versions, land and sea. Land is arancini, potato fritters, fried courgette, fried pumpkin flour, fried dough, fried. But we're in Naples, which is a port town, so it makes sense to go for the seafood. You know, seafood is also just fried goodness. Fried cuttlefish, baby squid, anchovies, shrimp tail, and of course that fried dough. It is incredibly satisfying. It's given to you in this cone, this grease-absorbing cone, so you can and are encouraged to walk around with it and nibble on it as you go, but it's all so good. A little bit of salt. You can see the anchovy or whitebait if you're from the UK. I know they're not the same thing, but that's whitebait as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely wonderful. Really satisfying, quite salty, which isn't a bad thing. You're going to want a beer after this. But this is such a Neapolitan thing. You're not going to really find this anywhere else in Italy, so truly encourage you to indulge. Make yourself feel good about yourself for once in your pathetic lives. Naples is in Italy, and Italy uses the euro, so you will too while you're here. Let's talk about costs. Naples, like many cities in Italy, has a focus on tourism, so there are spikes in prices in the tourist-heavy areas, especially here in the historic city center. That being said, there are deals to be had, food and drink especially, as you cast your gaze slightly further afield from the tourist-heavy areas. So maybe have a little bit of a look as you move around, and you will find great food, great drink at reasonable prices in Naples. And on that note, let's do the rundown. A cup of delicious Italian coffee will cost you around €2.50. A glass of beautiful Italian beer will cost you around €4. And for the most reliable indicator of a nation's cost, the good old Big Mac, you're going to pay around €6.10 or $6.50 US. Let's talk about safety. This city comes with a reputation as being gritty, which, let's face it, is just a lazy euphemism for unsafe. But come on, this is the third largest city in Italy. It's going to have the same problem as any other major metro area. You will need to take the same precautions as you would in any European port city. The area around Centrale Station, just like the areas around every central station in Europe, is home to pickpockets and scammers. But if you take the usual precautions, keep your wits about you, keep your head up and out of your phone, stow the bling at the hotel, you will be absolutely fine. Let's not over-egg this pudding.
It bothers me that Naples has been saddled with a reputation as rough, or dirty, or dangerous. A place to be avoided. Give me a break. Is it as polished and saccharine as Florence? No, not even close. Is it gilded with historical landmarks like Rome? No, not really. But is Manchester? Is Marseille? Is Hamburg? No, absolutely not. But they're port cities, for God's sakes. Why do they need to be anything but vibrant, diverse, and busy, which they all are, and more? Naples is all of those things, but it also possesses a charm that defies description, a twinkle in its mischievous eye that, given a chance, will utterly beguile you. There is layer upon layer of allure in this city, but you will only be rewarded with it if you drop your guard a little, leave your preconceptions at home, and explore Naples with eyes wide open. Don't forget to grab your MyHeritage DNA kit today by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link in the description below.